The kissing the cross.
Now we're live.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah, kissing the cross. That's a thing. My 2-year-old goes the opposite direction because and so it's funny. So I go back and forth. I switch it up. You know, maybe do both.
Yeah,
in the same motion.
I remember Scott Hahn making that joke about sometimes Catholics will make the sign of the cross and they wipe their nose, and you're like, "Is that something? Is that a new thing? Did I miss something?"
Yeah, I go back to the center now. I don't know. It feels it's like heart.
Yeah.
You know, here, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, me.
Okay. The fourth person.
No heresy.
So I just got to say this. I am really tired.
I know you're tired. Yeah, I almost thought this wasn't.
I just don't want anyone to see my tiredness and think that I'm like bored. I'm not bored.
No, I'm actually pretty tired too. I am a father of 9, and
so you're away from them. What was last night like?
Well, I had a coffee around 5, and then we had a donor event down in Pittsburgh. So so it was, my brain just never shut off. But thanks for taking the time, man. I just love what you're doing. I've been saying this a lot. I think about you all the time. I think about all the goodness that is coming. Can I just affirm you for a second? No, seriously, because I don't know if people know all that you are. Even behind, from not always in the camera. You're a good brother, and you made time for me today. So,
thank you.
Yeah, I had to come all the way up here to see you, but
Yeah, tell us about the first time we met.
Oh,
because this is nice. Like I'm sure if I think hard enough, I'll capture that memory. But the first, here you go.
No, it was unremarkable.
Probably was.
No, a dear friend of mine was in love with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't wait to meet. She described you as the Australian Ennie.
Did she?
Yeah,
yes,
which is like,
no, I'm not that.
I'm
cool.
not sure.
No,
no, come on, man.
No.
Your hair's looking great, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got a good black barber who screwed up my mustache, but did a great job on my hair.
How do you screw up a mustache?
He gave me a black man's mustache. That's what he did. He shaved above and below it, so it was like this. If I was a black dude, I would have looked really good, but I looked terrible.
But alas,
very,
very white. Yeah.
No,
I think. Well, I was leaving. You were coming, right?
You were in Houston. My wife was living with you at the time. You and your wife and kids.
Yeah,
you guys were
your wife living with me.
That's correct. Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
So y'all were co-youth ministers.
Yeah, we were working together. She was great. I mean, of course, Cam is great now. But boy,
back then.
She was even better. No, she was a great youth minister. Yeah, she was living in our house. My children, woke up every morning and ate her, she would cook breakfast and they would eat it, out of her plate. Yeah, she was a dear friend. And you guys had met years before, and there was the long distance thing.
Yeah, it was probably maybe a year. That's all, because we did Net Ministries in 2004-ish.
Yeah. So this was 2005, and there you were, no shoes,
with my bag. Do you remember my leather bag?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, that's a bit.
Yeah. Is this real? Is this guy real?
Because this is before the satchel became popular in America. Yeah, it was popular in Australia. Of course. Except I had a pleather satchel. Yeah. Which made it all the worse.
Yeah. No, you were. Yeah. It was like the perfect caricature of exactly what I felt like. And I think I started adapting. The word mate. I think I still call you.
You asked me a very fast. I've said this about you. Yeah. You say things that stick with me. And they're very simple things, but they're very insightful. You said, when you walk past somebody in a hallway, do you walk on the left side, the right side, because of how we drive? Yeah. And you asked me, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think that's a thing. And then I realized it was. Yeah. I think it really was a thing.
And do you? Yeah.
I walk. I don't know if I do it anymore, but
yeah. Yeah. I knew we were going to be friends from the get-go, but then I left you there in Houston, and you took my heart. Resented it ever since. Resented the city.
Well, it was a hard thing going from like beautiful small city beach town Australia to Houston.
Yeah.
Like Houston's a big city.
Yeah, and I actually don't necessarily. I stay there for the tacos and the people. Really and truly, like the food and the people are great, but yeah, I have to get away. Like we got to get out of there. We have a little like hunting lease, like 45 minutes out of town that we go spend time at, and then as as often as possible get south of the border, down to Latin America, Central America. That's
what I like about Texas, though. At least this is true in your neighborhood. Is it's big and unwieldy and loud and concrete.
Yeah.
But I found that when you would go into those little cul-de-sacs, like where you were living, it's actually beautiful, like a little village.
Yeah, it is, and it's all sorts of people coming together. All walks of life, all belief systems. People from all over the world come to Houston. It's kind of it's just that international city. So it's great. You can start business there. You can start anything there. We just started a school 7 years ago, and it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful city. So I'm sad you're not there, but I'm just so happy for you. All this is working out here in Steubenville. Did you ever think you'd be here? Did you? I mean, like you knew Steubenville from conferences.
Yeah. That's it.
The Hans.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you come here in the summer, I can't think of a more beautiful place to be.
Really?
Yeah. I get the potholes, the meth, the pajama people at Kroger. I get it. But I love
pajama
it.
People.
Sorry, could you move that bottle back?
This one?
Just slightly in the shot.
Yeah, no, I love it so much.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We were living in Houston. No, we weren't.
No,
we were living in
Georgia.
Atlanta, and we were looking at a place to move, and we just felt inspired to try this out.
Yeah.
And I don't trust myself because I'm impetuous and excitable.
Really?
So when I have to make decisions, I'm like, don't ask
me.
I'll change my
I'll just
mind
go wherever.
depending on if I've had coffee or sleep. I'll be like, I just really feel like if I start saying that, don't listen to me, as I just said to my wife.
No, but it's worked out for you though. Like the things you have dreamed up, the things that you're like, we'll try that.
Yeah.
They're, some of them are working.
Yeah, some of them. There's a lot of stuff I throw at the wall. But my wife said as we were driving away after we visited here, she said, I've never felt more at home anywhere in my life.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, if the Lord's putting that on my wife's heart,
it's got to be a cool place to raise your kids.
So good.
Yeah. The Lesnevskis. Mm-hmm. Who else?
Well, it's just, I mean, on our street, there's like 10 great Catholic families.
Yeah.
And what's cool about it, like, honestly, before we moved here, we knew some friends that were starting, for lack of a better word, a commune elsewhere.
Oh,
it wasn't a commune, but it was just like,
farm.
we Catholic, everything's going to hell. We need to create this cultural center in Texas, in a remote place. And I went there, and it was gorgeous, and I just didn't feel at all attracted to it.
Yeah.
But what's cool about Steubenville is the families aren't, I'm not saying these people were necessarily, but they're not like afraid of the world.
If you're going to take off and live on a farm, you might
There's
be a
fear
little,
there. Yeah, I think fair enough. But the people here are messy and beautiful.
Yeah.
Like someone just said to me, it was Matt McCloskey, cigar lounge opener, said how one of my kids is just terrific.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel like this as a dad, but I'm like, if he is, like, I don't think I probably only got in the way. Now I'm sure that's not true.
Yeah.
But I just
No, it's not. But I know that feeling. Oh, I love my like adult kids give me so much hope. Cause like, there's some moments there in adolescence where you're like, is this gonna work? And I don't know but I love my kids. They're awesome. So so I don't know what the commune versus the neighborhood engagement. Like I feel like what you're saying is they're not only normal, I guess in a way, like normal, messy,
different families. They're not all cookie cutter.
It feels like you're engaging the community here too.
100%.
Like there's a true community engagement. The cigar bar and lounge. Sorry,
either one. Yeah, cigar lounge. We're going to try to get some alcohol there soon. But it's like the peer pressure is to be holy, but not in like a weird, angry way.
Yeah.
So the kids,
because the kids
are just living these human lives. These beautiful.
Yeah,
they're all playing and running around them.
Yeah, it is. I think it is definitely a challenge to keep your feet on the ground and not get too weird and divisive in our culture. Depends on what you're consuming, but you're just gonna go off and do your own thing. Great, no judgment, but I just hear the gospel over and over talking about this, this engagement, right, where the people are at. And I feel like it might be difficult to to disciple
Yeah.
outside of just an urban center. But
So your oldest
gotta
kid,
find rest.
Your oldest kid is how old?
Going on 21, should be 21 in July.
All right, so here's a good question for you.
Yeah.
If older Ennie Hickman could speak to Ennie Hickman, whose wife is pregnant for the first time, about fatherhood. Honest question, what kind of advice would you...
I mean, first thing that comes to mind is just like, relax. Take a deep breath.
And young Ennie would have went, totally.
I am so relaxed. I'm so relaxed. We got this. Yeah, I think, it's that old, the older you get, the less you know type of thing. I think starting out, I was very much, I had decided how we were going to do it. Every kid will be this way. This is how we're going to, this media, not this media, et cetera, all the way down to like sleep habits and nutrition, and you have it all worked out. But I think the older I get and the more life experience of being a father, I think, it's just take a deep breath, make sure that you're loving them, and not in a like, I just want to be your friend, like do what that's not love. Like love is drawing boundaries. Love is saying no, or saying yes. Like, no, you actually do have to, do this thing that the family's up to, but being present when they have doubts or fears or all the normal things that come about in adolescence, or just being human. Like, I don't know if I fit in, or you see them, with their head down and thinking like, are you okay? Is everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine. You could take that at face value and walk past it. But I think, sitting, we made a reference to like chatting in the kitchen. Chatting in the kitchen.
I'm loving as my kids get older.
Yeah.
People say they miss the young kid stage. Now, I know you've got 800 children, so you have all the stages.
800 exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't, but I am loving. My wife misses the baby
Four's
stage.
a lot.
Yeah.
4 is a lot.
But I'm loving as they get older.
Yeah. Chatting in the kitchen, just taking time, I think that would probably be the one piece of advice I would give the young Ennie is just take a deep breath. Everything's going to be okay.
I don't think I would have listened to any of the advice I would give me.
Yeah, probably
So I think
not.
what I would try to do is just create the right cultural environment. I'd be like, all right, this is going to be way harder than you think it is. And you're going to be decimated, but you'll be like a phoenix. It'll be fine, but you're going to need good Catholic friends.
Yeah.
Go find them and implant yourself in a little community.
Yeah. I mean,
and
we
walk
did
with those people.
We were blessed with that. I mean, I was at my home parish. I'm still at my home parish where I grew up. So it's multiple generations of friends and cousins, and we're really blessed with our community from the get go. Grandparents, my in-laws just moved 2 doors down. I tell you that.
You mean your folks or
my
or her
in-laws?
folks?
Yeah, Kana's parents just moved to
How's
I'm
that
from
going?
It's great,
Okay,
but
good.
I think no, it's great, but like that's a serious question because I think young Ennie would have been like, I don't think this is gonna work. Like, I got it. I'm a man. I'm the dad. I don't need anybody else speaking into this thing, or maybe the younger we are, the more like we sort of look at our elders maybe like, they missed the mark here, or they're dumb, or they don't have, they don't have like the wisdom that I have at 22 or 23 or whatever.
There's no way to know that though at the time, is
there's
there?
no way.
It's just life and suffering. That's the only thing that'll beat it into you.
But you just get beat to a pulp, and first of all, just being a spouse, like just navigating struggle and disagreement, and navigating this idea that like my whole life is just to be poured out for this one person, and then you add kids in that mix, and
with
you're
their own
pummeled.
personalities.
You're done. You're freaking done. Like you have nothing left. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were saying like, what do you like to do? And I'm like, oh, what do I like to do? I don't even know what that means anymore. Like there are things that I dream about or things that I used to like to do, but like my life, isn't my own. And that sounds all pious, but it's like literally not. I am here to there. And I think, in the past, I probably was more like, I got it.
Yeah.
Now I think it's like, I'll take all the help I can get.
Yeah.
When
you were married without kids and someone said, what do you like to do? What would have you said then?
It wasn't very long. It was literally like 9 months that we were,
But as a young man, like, because you say you don't know how to answer that now, and I totally know what you mean. Like for me, I'm like, sit down and have a drink with a friend.
Yeah,
that's what I like to do.
This maybe. Like this, like we have to work to like talk.
And I feel bad about
hobbies.
that.
I do enjoy hunting. I know that's something we share now, which is great. You have to come down to Texas and do some real
bird hunting.
Yeah, birds. I love getting on the birds. It's it's super messy. It's hard. Duck hunting it's torture. Imagine just the worst situation where, you're in 4 feet of mud and then, another 4 feet of water.
Wow. Okay.
In the marsh. You wake up in the morning, you get out there and you shine your Q-beam lights and you just see alligator, and that's where they're hunting too, and you're there hunting. So, it's pretty miserable, cold, wet, rainy.
That's cool. That's a good thing.
But
it's the whole hunting.
It's the whole experience of sort of overcoming the difficulty, to get there. I'm not into the like scope, Here's an animal just going along, doing its thing.
When my mate John Henry and I went to Namibia to go hunting, we used to joke.
Oh, John Henry.
We'd be like, "What? Is he chained to the ground by a? It's fine, just shoot him. This feels wrong."
Oh, John Henry went to Africa.
Do you know John Henry?
I do know John Henry.
Did we meet together?
John Power.
Oh, John Henry.
John Power.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I did. I met him in Georgia. Yeah. That's got to be.
It was terrific.
Tough. Yeah. Do you?
Oh, missing him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do miss him. I'm hoping to go down in a couple of weeks and hang out with him.
Yeah, hunting. I like sitting. I like sitting in nature. I like sitting even just on I have like a side yard, a little smoking patio.
Nice.
I like sitting out. I like gardening. I like doing that stuff. But all of it, I come to the realization that I have a very hard time doing something that's even a hobby that doesn't produce.
Okay.
I had this experience. I don't know if I told you this. I went blind in my left eye.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was this crazy thing. Started out like as a flashing on half of my eye and then a blackness.
When?
This was, I don't know, like a year ago or so.
How scary was that?
Very. Yeah, it was terrifying. I went to the doctor and they ran all kinds of things and trying to figure out what's going on. And the doctor came back in and was like, so do you take steroids, like her? And I'm like, what do you think, man? And I was like, no,
do you
none
masturbate
of that.
a lot?
Yeah, right. Like, what is the thing you do? What? No.
There's the old joke that if you masturbate, you'll go blind. That's what that
right.
was.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. Right.
Oh, yeah. It's a masturbation joke.
Mm-hmm.
Love those.
Yeah, very comfortable with that.
Yeah, very.
Too comfortable.
And then he was like, he asked me how much coffee, how much caffeine I was taking in. And apparently there's this thing. And he was like, okay, well, it's all, if none of those are the same, I was like, I have an average amount, two, maybe 3 cups, a day. He's like, okay, so you're not constantly drinking Monster and all this stuff. So it turns out it's called CSR. I don't know what the acronym stands for, but it happens in like bodybuilders and truck drivers who are just drinking like Red Bulls all day.
Yeah.
And stressed out type A males in their 40s and 50s. it's a stress induced blindness. Wow. And so like,
was that a wake up call?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And he goes,
did you know you were stressed? Had someone had asked you?
No, I've just always, I don't have another gear. I don't know what it means to slow down. So this was, so the doctor was like, you have to, slow down. Like, what do you do to relax? Realizing I was always, whether somebody told me this or not, I always believed that, hey, I'm the dad, I'm the husband. Like, I'm just gonna go. Like, I'm a workhorse. I don't have and then beyond that, to be righteous or to be pious or to be the Christian husband was to just serve. Like, everybody else gets all of my stuff. I don't have, and that kind of like what we were saying earlier. And so realized I just didn't have any gear to slow down and rest. And I still, so he gave me medicine, which was probably
some kind of steroid.
No, it was for mountain climbers. I have no idea. It's like a
medicine for mountain climbers.
Yeah, it's like like I went to the CVS and they were like, going mountain climbing. I'm like,
did they really
I'm
say
blind.
That?
Yeah. And
what?
But anyway, I actually, like, it's sad to admit, the medicine worked and I haven't slowed down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was like,
joke's on you, doc.
Yeah, he's like, you got to meditate. You got to like do some stuff for you and chill out. And like, but
where's the drugs?
Where are the drugs, man? Yeah.
How long did it take to?
It took like a month or so to go back, back to normal.
You were afraid that was it? It was just not going to
No,
come
he was
back?
like, it's going to go back. Basically what it was a detachment of the retina, and it was a fluid buildup.
How stressed out are you that the retina's like, I'm out?
Yeah, I'm out.
Can't
take this anymore.
It's weird getting old. You finish your story because I've got a lot of old men.
No, that's
anecdotes.
it. No, that's it. Your back is
back.
one. You're carrying your
here's a
stress
weird one.
in your back.
Here's a really weird one. And I looked this up, and apparently it's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
My eyelashes on this side of my face have given up.
What?
They go down now.
Oh, dude, maybe they're depressed.
I was yesterday. I was in the bathroom, and I said, "What the bloody hell was I looking for?" I came up here for a reason. And Peter went here. He gave me the eyelash curler. I'm like, that is what I was looking for. Damn it!
Wow.
I have to use an eyelash curler, otherwise I'm seeing.
You see your eyelashes.
Do you see how these are down?
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Wait, that's a thing.
Do you see it?
I see it, but
See how
that's
they're
an
down?
old thing. That's an old man
Can you
thing?
look up eyelashes going down and see if that's really a thing? Thank you.
Well, I've seen the eyebrows that just do
mine
the thing.
are making rogue.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I want to
The worst
trust
is
that my
the
body
nose
knows what
hair.
it's doing.
Like the nose hair. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about no. I'm talking about the hair that's like coming out of your nose.
Oh, I haven't got those yet, but I do
the
have an
old-
ear thing.
No,
saw
I don't
this
have it either. But
in the
that's
Dennis
like I'm
Prager
very
interview,
afraid.
the light was on me. And there's this like one rogue.
Nice.
Only 40-year-old plus men. We're going to enjoy this episode. Everyone else is going to be like, "Why the hell?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway,
No one's
I
watching
can't get them.
anymore.
I
Everybody's
can't get the
gone.
eyelashes to
Sorry,
go up.
everybody.
So I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll put it down, and they just.
Yeah. Is there a cure?
Well, that's
Thursday,
what I
is there
pay
a
Thursday
cure?
for.
Yeah.
Figure it out,
Yeah.
please. 'Cause
I could come over and like zoom way in on your eyeball.
No.
if you want. I mean.
Sad.
But it's crazy. So there's that.
Yeah. So anyway,
My
I
teeth
went-
aren't as white as they used to be.
Yeah,
People
it's
used
just
to
a part
say,
of
"You've
it.
got
It's just a
wonderful
part-
teeth."
Yeah.
They don't say that anymore.
no.
I'm gonna break your heart here, boss. It's a part of hair thinning because it's the same thing. And so as they're thin, they're less structurally. They become
Yeah.
thinner, and so they're less structurally sound. So they're less able to support their own weight.
Like, do I cut them off? Do I shave them off? How weird would that look?
No.
No,
you gotta
don't put
embrace
anything
it.
sharp close to.
No,
oh
I'm
my
joking.
God.
No, I've noticed that with my beard.
So I
I
find
think
myself
last
doing
time
this.
I was on the show, my beard was probably bigger.
Yeah.
So the hair the grayness has a different density.
Yeah.
And it was doing weird things, and I was like, you gotta go back.
But see,
to...
you're going old very gracefully. You look very good.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. You got
Yeah?
the salt and pepper thing
Yeah.
going.
Okay.
Yeah, you look great.
Yeah.
I'm just going bald and my eyelashes
No, you
have
look
given up.
great, man. Oh, I see those YouTube little thumbnails. I'm like, man, look at that handsome gentleman. Yeah,
Yeah.
you really do. I mean, like, I know, sorry again. This is just like affirmation city right now, but yeah, I'm just so. Yeah, you did good, man. And Cam's looking great too.
Cam,
Feels like
I asked
feels
John
like,
Henry. I sent a photo of
Yeah.
us when we got married, And he texted me back and said, Cameron still looks beautiful. You look like a boy until a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were boyish until until 40, and now you're
No, an old
But
man.
yeah,
But there's that fella, Gavin McGinnis, has this joke where he says to his kids, like, I don't need my looks anymore. You do something with them. Like, they're not as important as you get older. You don't need them. You go do something with them. Isn't that great?
Yeah. I hope it's I hope it's wisdom. I've been thinking a lot about the next 40, you know?
So I'm 40 this July.
Yeah. You're so young.
How old are you?
44.
Yeah.
This month. Oh, like 2 days. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday.
Who cares about birthdays? You get
At
past
this
40.
point, after 40, it's just backaches and
Yeah.
dieting until death.
That's right. Yeah, no, I've been thinking a lot about this. You know, Kana's brother
Yeah.
died tragically last year, and he was 39, and he wasn't always. He was a mess for a while, for a little bit. He was wounded in battle twice. He had 2 Purple Hearts, one in Iraq, one in Afghanistan, and always a beautiful soul, but always a bit of a turkey. And the war is really, really damaging, on his mental health. And it was some years of wandering, but in 2015, 16, it was a miracle. I mean, we got Evan back, and he found the river. We traveled back
What
to
does that mean?
So it was a fly fishing trip.
Okay.
The Sierra Club, not the Sierra Club, but the Sierra Club, helps veterans, suffering with PTSD. They organize these trips, hunting trips, things like that. And he wanted to go hunting, but all they had was this fly fishing trip, and found peace on the river. And then went to raft guide school and became a raft guide, like a world-class rafting guide. And the amount of people he interacted with, there and sort of that group, and our family worried about him for so many years in the war, of course, being wounded twice, and, him losing, soldiers and stuff. It was really difficult. And then post wars, it was terrible. And then he's on the river, and we just never gave it a second thought. He had found life again, and wasn't married. My brother said, after he passed away, which by the way was super tragic. Like, he was down in Guatemala, helping young indigenous, basically training them to create a tourism, like an industry, to bring some economy to rafting on some of those rivers. So it was a solo trip, and the river had swelled, and the boat capsized. He, told the kid exactly where to swim, how to swim, get to safety, and he stayed with the boat and disappeared for 2 days. And then when the river went down, they found his body. But when
Were
he,
you all
when
in
he passed
Guatemala
away,
when that happened?
No, we
You
weren't
weren't.
there. Deacon Doug, my father-in-law, did go down, part of the rescue. A hero. You want to talk about a dad?
Really?
I mean, it was very moving to see a father do that and go, travel down. He's still missing.
Can you
He's on the
imagine?
river working with.
So he
the
didn't know
Corps.
that he had died until he got there?
No, I mean, it was 2 days later, when they pulled him out of the river, and, but thank God, like, we found, we did find his body, and we were able to have a funeral mass, back in Phoenix, and the place is packed. And what I was getting at is that, there actually wasn't a person that had met Evan that didn't feel, in those last 6 years, prior, when he was a kid and stuff too, but like those last 6 years, that didn't feel loved, cared for, like the most important person. It really was who. It didn't matter. He only got mad at injustice. He only got mad if somebody was left out. He was a great uncle. He's a great brother to me. always there. You know, he was the uncle that stayed up late to do puzzles with the kids when like all the parents were like, we're out, you know, this is enough. You know, he'd be like, I'll stay up. And we had just been with him in Guatemala. We were there just prior to that, the accident. And just had a great last moments with him. And the point being,
you're gonna die
his
one day
life
too.
mattered.
So
yeah.
I thought you were about to get to that.
It is. I'm gonna die. And I think when I was younger, like Frater Memento Mori, like brother, remember your death had a lot to do with stop masturbating, you know, like you're gonna die, you know, you better be ready, and you know, you better get it right before you die, you know, so you don't go to hell. I think, you know, that's the way I interpreted that. But like now, I just really want my life to matter, but maybe not in the way that I think, you know, like we're familiar with Zig Ziglar, you know, like a business guru. Are you familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. So he always says like the cycle or the way that your life goes is like you survive, you're a young adult, like you're just surviving, and then you succeed. Yeah. And then your last piece is to be significant. And I think the Christian man might be like, that's all backwards. I feel like maybe significance and our life mattering might be more important than success. And, you know, survival is, we're always just going to be, you know, surviving. So I've been kind of obsessed with this idea. It's like, because his eulogies were, I mean, it was adventure, it was war, it was like he did a thing that was hard, and then he loved people and he cared for people and he was doing something good even to death. And he died in a place, you know, on the river that he died doing something that he loved and was risky and all these things. So it was really beautiful to hear his family and his friends talk about it. And of course, we just, you know, the wake, I mean, just drinking and crying, and we had a video, you know, and of course his, you know, I got videos of him on my phone. It just all of this to say, I've just been sort of obsessed with this idea of like, what will they say, you know? And I've been given talks for 20, like more than half of my life. I've been doing talks, and a lot of people know me from that, and they'll say that, and that's great. But what are the people right around me going to say? What are my friends going to say? You know, like, oh, he was a great interview, or like he was, I'm not, first of all, but like, but what will Matt say about me at the end? Like, that matters to me. Like that I was present to you, and that, that I loved you. And I think boiled down, you know, like I love history, you know? So like looking back, you know, there were moments in time where the church was like, what were you guys thinking? Do you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes in his
church in the 80s.
Church, right.
That's what we mean? Like teen masses?
Like sure. Yeah. Like you could look back even in recent history and go like,
I look back at myself within the church participating in something that I would now be embarrassed about.
Yeah. We thought we were doing it right, and we were way off. And it's like, it's difficult to see where you're wrong or off when you're right in the midst of it. You know, like I had frosted tips at one point. So did you.
Oh, totally.
And like you look at those pictures and you go, well, that was really dumb. Like, what was I thinking?
To have someone strap a rubber cap on your head so you look like a condom,
and
then pull
your little hair out,
and then paint it, and you're looking at yourself in the mirror with any degree of respect.
Right, there we were.
Shameful.
There we were. But
what are we doing now?
But we didn't. Right. Exactly? That's the point I'm trying to make. It's like, what am I doing now that I will look back on and go like, what were you thinking?
Something about that shirt. I'm just joking.
Man, I wore this for you.
Well, I was going to say, sometimes you'll travel, like I was in Italy with my wife, and we were on Ischia, which is a little island off the coast of Naples, and I bought like this little straw kind of raw like hat, and I said to my wife, there's no way this is going to translate in America.
Yeah, no,
you're
it
off
doesn't.
somewhere. But that does, though. That
no,
is,
it doesn't.
No,
like, I think
it
on the
does.
street, well,
Nah,
for
you
you,
crush
because you've been there, you've seen it, you understand what we're doing. But yeah,
I'm going to push back on you real quick, because
Okay.
it's one thing. I went to Uganda and they gave me this kind of like tribes sort of shirt. That wouldn't translate. Like, that is the perfect blend, I think, between what we would wear. It's just added color. I think it's nice.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm not trying to make you feel good.
Okay.
I like
it's
it.
all right. Well, if you like it, I'll leave it for you. It's
I
for
know
you.
you're skinnier than me. It wouldn't work.
You're like, I don't like it that
like
much.
it that much.
No, but yeah, so I've been asking this question, about my own life. I've got a good 40 years left. Like, what is that going to be?
God, you are optimistic. What's that? 84?
Yeah, it's a good life.
Yeah, you think you'll make it that long?
I don't know.
I'm
I
like
hope.
65. I think
Really?
I'm out. Yeah,
Matt, don't do that.
but see, I can't.
It's the cigars, man.
It might be, and I'm okay with that. I don't want to stick around that long anyway.
I think your wife would.
She'll be fine. I look at the end of my life like my own. Like, I have to look at the end of my life in the same way that I look at my own sinfulness. I can't look at it without Christ.
Yeah.
And that sounds whatever it sounds like, but if I encounter my own just wretchedness, my pride, my selfishness with my family, all that, if I try to explore that without the gaze of the merciful Christ, like, I just collapse in on myself. And it's the same thing with the end of my life. If I imagine myself dying in a hospital bed or however the hell it's going to happen, I can't look at that apart from the reality of Christ and heaven.
Sure. Yeah, no, it is. It's looking at heaven. It's looking at it's like attaching yourself to the cross. It's salvation. It's all those things. But like, something in us does want to be like remembered for something. And I think that there's, we have an opportunity with our life, to witness to.
And do you think if somebody was to respond to you and say, well, no, I think that's a bit prideful to want to be remembered for something. Do you think they're kidding themselves? That no, this is actually part of it. You should desire to.
I'm not saying remembered like maybe you will be. This is a great dude. You're reaching tens of thousands of people with this, right? I'm talking about Liam.
Yeah.
Like,
gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Not it's like how strangers think of
like
you.
not how big it is, right? And this idea that there are saints just folding laundry right now, like just like doing the ordinary things, loving God, with more than anything, and then loving the people around them. I think more so, it matters more like what my kids think of me, but like what they will say at the end. And I pray and I want to shape my life around this idea that they will say, Dad loved me, Dad loved God. Dad put God above everything.
Yeah.
More than like even if his friends weren't into it, or even if everybody left, like Dad probably still would have worshiped God. And when it was difficult, Dad loved me. And Dad was patient with me, and so I know that sounds like super pious, and like but anyway, this is like happening in my head constantly since Evan's death. It's just because we did, and it's not like we spoke highly of him because he was a mess too. He was a mess too, but he loved, and so in like in the context of church too, it's become a broader question for me in that like. When we look back in 100 years, like what are we doing now that is like, what if we're off? Hey, it's just a question. I'm not saying we are. The question of like, maybe there's something that that future church will go, what were they thinking? And when I look at it, and this isn't like, again, this is no, I think everything, all content created right now is beautiful. It's diverse. We got all kinds of voices, but I'm in the scope of history. I kind of look at it like we talk a lot right now. Like if you wanted to spend all day consuming content, forum.com or YouTube, you could do that and almost trick yourself into thinking that you are living the gospel by consuming gospel-y things, right? And my hunch is, I'm not saying that's all, my hunch is that might be weird to, it's already weird probably to developing worlds, like where it's like, what? It's a lot of talk. So, biblically, doers, not hearers only. That is kind of ringing true. It's kind of the only thing. I mean, what would you say to, like, if this was an era of the church, like what, I mean, you probably have a lot to say, but like, as far as what would be scandalous to a future church if like they were to look back and say, I keep thinking that we distract ourselves to death with both political and ecclesial politics. We keep refreshing our news feeds to see what Pope Francis or James Martin or somebody has said, and we're rightly sometimes confused or sometimes even scandalized. Yeah. That's all legitimate. Or lied to.
But whenever that becomes our sphere of concern, and that detracts from the authority we actually have over our bride and children and the people we're called to husband and cultivate. Yeah. I think that's what's so scandalous in my own life. I see this addiction to novelty and seeing that with a church lens. Yeah, I'm already horrified at myself for that. And it's that's not just because I shouldn't be just kind of distracting myself to death, but because of what it takes away from my family and friends.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think that's it. I think, like, to your point earlier on, it was these programs and like the happy clappy.
Does anybody have programs anymore? Is anyone doing like a confirmation program?
Programs are what a weird word. It is like it's a bad word. Yes, I think so. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Here's a question for you that I find interesting. I've been thinking about this for years now. It's like with the advent of YouTube and social media and social media influencers. By the way. YouTube. What I'm finding interesting compared to when like you and I met was like, who's going into youth ministry?
Nobody.
And maybe they shouldn't be. I'm not saying it's necessarily a sad thing, but it's just a lot easier to be an influencer on Instagram. Encouraging people.
Right. Yeah.
And for me too, to do this thing on YouTube.
Or all the options, right? I mean, good options. I think for you and I, this is it. Like, that was one option. You could be a church youth minister. Yeah. If you were excited about Jesus
and if you were good enough
and had a hemp necklace on, you could go and do a thing. Yeah. There are so many apostolates, so many, you look at Focus or Vagabond, or, there's a million different ways to use those 2 or 3 years of youth, and, before I get married, right? Yeah. We were trying to do it as career people, and that was the only way we thought maybe we could get paid enough to feed family. And in one way, it's sad that the industry has not been professionalized enough to make a living. We just lost our youth minister at our parish, and my pastor, he wasn't looking at me like it's you, but he was looking at me like, we just lost our youth minister. Like, basically, do you know anybody? And I'm looking at him like, why are you looking at me? Because in my heart, I'm like, I would love to do that. I would love to just disciple, young people. I actually feel like I have a gift for that, but it's impossible. How could I do? Like, I would cost. It would cost so much.
Yeah, I have 800 children.
I have 800 children. How will I feed them? So, yeah, I think both the but then to hop on the other side, the 90% of the world doesn't pay people to do what you and I do. I mean, there are small locations where, you get but you talk to anybody from India and it's like, oh yeah, I get a stipend for, giving talks. They're like, what? Like a stipend for talking about faith and Jesus? Like,
I can see it being both detrimental in American culture, right? Like that you would pay someone so much money to come and give a talk.
Right.
But I also look at the apostolates that appear, at least prima facie, to be blessing the most people, also seem to be coming out of America.
It's true. Well, there's innovation. We try it. We go for it. I mean, I think there's a can-do thing. You plant a thing, you have a dream, a vision, find a donor, get it going. you're a beautiful testimony to that. Like, without folks who had a little bit of cash believing in you, this isn't happening, right? So clearly God uses anything, anybody. I hope you hear that in all charity.
No. Yeah, I did.
God has blessed you. Yeah, and blessed your apostolates. But
can I just switch gears here? Speaking of apostolates.
Yeah.
Pilgrimage to beauty, a true retreat to the breath. This is such a right-hand turn. Forgive me for how violent that was.
This is great. No, it's a perfect segue. It's actually a perfect segue.
A true retreat to the breathtaking beauty of Lake, I want to say Atitlan, but that's probably not it.
It's Atitlan.
Atitlan, Guatemala, where you can pray. So what is this? This is your beautiful pilgrimage that you take people to in Guatemala.
Yeah. So Kana grew up there.
Your bride.
Kana, my bride, who is
pilgrimagetobeauty.com.
Pilgrimagetobeauty.com.
There we go.
Yeah.
Link in the description.
Thank you. Yeah, we started going there in 2001 to the lake, and you've been there. You stayed a few weeks.
Is this the lake
there.
I was at by the iguana thing?
Yes, Larry's place.
That was just glorious.
So yeah, you
a lot of weird hippie looking people there.
Well, there's some expats. You were on a kind of a
Very
hippie side.
strange
You're kind of on a
looking
hippie side.
People who would dress so bizarre, even around bizarre people, and then look at you as to ask, why would you look at me? Like, you know why. It's because you are intentionally dressing like a weirdo.
It's a retirement community for people who are looking for peace and rest.
Yeah.
They live there full time. But yeah, we started going there in 2001. We went to this village called Santiago, and Santiago was known for the pagan guy named Maximon. Maximon was a man a leader in the community, kind of a womanizer in the community, like one of these king people. And he died, and they set him out to dry, essentially. And he was just this kind of mummified guy. And one day somebody just stuck a cigarette in his mouth, and it smoked down, like Maximon had smoked it. So people started bringing him cigarettes, blah, blah, blah. The moral of the story is it was 92 years in this village where there were no priests. The church was founded, in 1565 or something, right? The church was literally built there. The Spanish brought the faith, but then no more priests, right? So for 92 years, it was totally abandoned. When Oklahoma City Diocese started a mission there in the 60s, and priests and nuns going down to Guatemala during the Civil War. It was so it became a place of faith. So in 2001, we started visiting there, and we were getting, we were being sold cigarettes. Here, bring a cigarette to Maximon. And like, no, we're going to this church over here. It was totally bizarre. I was like, oh, I'll take it. I'll light it up. I'm not gonna give it to Maximon. But so then in 2016, 2017, we started bringing people. We lived there for a while. And in 2017, this guy, Blessed Stanley, Francis Rother, a plus.
Boom.
Spanish on this side. Isn't that convenient?
Yeah. I always get excited. I'm like, how good it's half the length that I thought it was.
He was Exactly. He was beatified in 2017. Oklahoma City.
Can I have a look at
it?
They
had a, and I have a relic for you later.
Do you really?
Yeah,
wow.
I do.
That's really good.
2017, he was beatified as, and if canonized, he'll be the first American-born martyr.
Martyr?
Yeah.
How'd that
happen? He was martyred for the faith. So he's known as the shepherd who didn't run. And, during the Civil War, this is during, kind of the communist takeover of Latin America. And the state government is, of course, trying to squash communism and guerrillas, in the jungles. And the indigenous people were sort of caught between these two fires. If you were indigenous or you looked indigenous, you were immediately the enemy, right? Because most guerrilla, warriors looked like that, and the the guerrillas, the communists were coming into villages and just stealing all the young men, conscripting them straight into the army. They did horrendous things, like they would give them a dog as a young boy. Here's a dog. And then you'd care for that dog for a year. And then, much like the Nazis, they would just say, okay, now shoot that dog in the head, to numb them to, violence and stuff. And so anyway, so indigenous faithful people were just trying to practice their faith. Of course, they were burying their dead. There were over 500,000. I mean, that's like a low estimate of people who were disappeared for the faith. And they started killing catechists. This is the army, right? The Guatemalan army, hiring hitmen to kill catechists and deacons and priests and nuns. And lots of people were losing their lives. And so what happened is the bishops of America just said, okay, everybody home, like get everybody out of there. So all the American priests and nuns left. And Rother, this farm boy from Oklahoma, said a shepherd doesn't run at the first sign of danger. You stay with his flock. And so, he went home for an ordination, told his people, I will come back. They all thought, you're never coming back. He said, I will come back. He comes back on Palm Sunday. There's a picture in that book. And that book's for you too, by the way.
Thank you.
He comes back on Palm Sunday, like a Christ figure, knowing that he was on a death list, knowing that he was going to die. He comes back to Santiago, to his people. And he starts spreading the word, and starts, he doesn't want to be tortured, first of all. Like, he had been picking up mutilated bodies out of the jungle for years and years, and said, was just terrified. Like, I don't want to be tortured. And first of all, because I don't want to be in that kind of pain. But secondly, like, what if I'm weak and I cave and I talk about where the catechists live and where all the people are? And so he spreads the word. He's like, they're not going to take me out of the rectory. Like, I will fight them. Of course, you've been there. So, Guatemalans are small in stature, strong, farmer. He brought modern farming to Santiago. He built a radio station, with his bare hands, a school. So he's a strong guy. And one night they came for him. And the young seminarian, or the young man who was discerning seminary there at the rectory, said, Father, they're here for you. And he said, all right, just bring them in. And for 20 minutes, fought these men off. They were trying to take him out of the rectory. And, he was just like, kill me here. Like, I'm going to die, but I didn't, don't torture me. And so they put 2 bullets in his head right there in the rectory. And so this trip that, for like this peaceful, restful, this beautiful, beautiful place where you can really unplug. It's like, wander where the Wi-Fi is weak, is one of the things that we say. It's just like, it's a very restful place, but for us, it became a true pilgrimage site to somebody who, loved God, loved his people, was faithful to his call as a priest, and it's sort of a priest of our time. He's a handsome man. He's not, denying his priesthood. A lot of the guys who were down there left the priesthood, and so it's a beautiful trip. So this last time, we connected with, we have been connecting with this husband and wife duo missionaries down there. Of course, there's so many Protestant outreaches, for the people, and they're doing great work, feeding, clothing, water, the whole bit. And this pair of Catholic missionaries is down there. Edgar's dad, Nicholas, was taught how to read by Blessed Stanley Rother. So he was a student of Rother's. He taught him how to read and write. It's an amazing, amazing story. So Edgar, because his dad could read and write and started his own business, Edgar goes to university. He has a degree. It's like that, the whole idea of, ending the cycle of poverty there. He comes back, and of course his apostolate is just to teach kids how to read. And course, they have to be fed before they read, and all these things, and
So
they can't travel.
So the point though is you're bringing people down there to hang and rest.
So we're going down. That's a long explanation of what the pilgrimage is about, but we're going down. It's for couples, who need a little bit of it's a very romantic setting, volcanoes, the lake, the whole bit. You wake up to tropical birds. You can attest to this. It's
so
a
much
beautiful
cooler.
thing.
This is just to me in my stage of life.
Yeah.
Sounds 1,000 times.
Yeah.
No, hang on.
Go
Sounds
ahead.
1,000 times better than getting a bus in the Holy Land and just going from place to place.
Yeah, and no
I wanna
offense.
go to the Holy Land,
Yeah, no
but
offense
I
to
wanna
that
go
kind
to
of
lay down.
pilgrimage. Yeah, exactly. The idea of like a leader walking around with a pole, and you follow the guy, and
I'd rather-
and see the holy sites. Like I love that stuff, but through the years, if I'm gonna take time away,
Was that?
Can you come in? You moved
Yeah.
back a little. Thank you.
if I'm gonna come away, get away, spend some time with my wife. That's not what I want to be doing, right? I need a hammock. I need some good coffee. They do rum down there, some tobacco, watching the sunset, volcano, taking a little raft, whatever. That's my kind of, that was my kind of pilgrimage. So the idea of pilgrimage to beauty, and then this witness of Blessed Stanley adds that spiritual dimension.
Yeah.
That, we don't spend a ton of time there, but we spend a day, at the church, and you can see the bullet holes in the ground.
Is his
and
body there?
No, his heart and his blood, jars of blood that the nuns sopped up upon his death. They knew immediately, he was a saint, and but his body is in Oklahoma City. They just built this enormous shrine in Oklahoma City. 20,000 people have gone through the doors there, and so a little bit of our apostolate is this idea of, cool, you go there, you pray for his intercession, and you're inspired by his story, but the reality is there are still people in Santiago who are suffering, who could use, like, if 20,000 people just, hey, $1, we could really help some kids, help some families. And so there's a half a day where we take food, to the people that Blessed Stanley loved. And it's a cool deal. I love that y'all. Well, Cam went.
You weren't
Cam
there,
went. I wasn't there. It was just a girls' trip, and then you guys ended up going there. I love that you've had that experience, because it's life giving. Like I said, like the big city, the urban deal, my going blind, all sorts of things. Like I need to cut out every now and then, and we found this soup. I mean, it's 2.5 hour flight down there, and so we love getting away and taking people. So this last trip, took a couple, and walking away, it was it had been a while since I had thought we helped them.
Yeah.
Like just in a very general, like you get off stage sometimes. It's like I get off stage, I'm like, I said some things. I had fun, I thought it was great. Did I help anybody? I don't know.
Right.
This episode, I don't know if anybody's watching still. Like, thank God, maybe we helped some people. But yeah, it's a really unique experience for Kana and I to minister to people in a real human way, organic, eating great food together, and talking about the things that matter.
So when do you go? Because I want people to know that before we wrap up.
So November, our next trip is in November.
Nice.
It'll be over Thanksgiving break, and families are welcome. We take, we'll be taking our kids.
We miss it. We loved it. So just shout out to Guatemala, man. I'd love to go back, even just for a week. We'd love to go back. It's such a beautiful
true.
place.
If you're in need of a true retreat,
it's not the kind of place where you'll go and they'll know English. It's not that place.
Oh no. Yeah.
You're going to really need to.
Yeah. Well, that's again, if you try to go there by yourself, without knowing much, it might be.
It was exhausting.
It might be a little exhausting, but again, we've been going there for 20 years.
Is this you in the photo? It is.
Yeah.
And who? Kana? Beautiful.
Yeah, it's Emily and Kana, and I took that picture.
It's a good picture.
Yeah,
it's hard to take a bad picture because of the volcanoes.
It's a very photogenic area.
Yeah.
So thanks for promoting.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
As we wrap up, I got to say two things to folks. Number one is there's a great website called everythingcatholic.com. You can think of that as kind of like the Amazon for Catholicism. But what's cool about it is it's not just mass-produced stuff. They're producing things from Catholic artisans. And here Thursday, you're going to need to make your joke about the chrism oil.
Oh,
because it's
the
fantastic. They have chrism candles. Here, first of all, smell that candle right there. Just smell it.
Well, they also have the chrism body spray and the scents. And I made a joke that nothing makes Catholic ladies think this guy is marriage material more than smelling like a newly baptized baby.
Yeah. So click the link. Click the link below. Everythingcatholic.com. These are fabulous people selling fabulous Catholic stuff. So please check them out and click the link and you'll get a discount. And then also check out Hallow, which is the #1 downloaded Catholic app in the world right now. I was exhausted last night trying to go to bed, so I listened to Scott Hahn read to me again. He's my go-to. You ever listen to Hallow?
I listen to you.
On Hallow? Hallow. Do you really?
I love your voice.
But do you listen to Hallow? Do you like it?
No.
Yeah.
You
don't have
just
to.
making that up.
Okay.
But
I am on Hallow.
But it's great. No, I know you are. Yeah, I know you are. It's I imagine
Scott has the
that
sleepy voice.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dr. Scott Hahn.
He does have such a great, it's like
a beautiful
butter.
voice.
Yeah.
He called me
like
this morning,
like
Matt, Dr. Hahn. I didn't tell him I was listening to him in bed last night. That feels awkward. But it is an excellent app.
nice to hear from you
Hallow.com. Use the promo code MattFradd. You'll get 3 months for free. That's ridiculous. So if you don't like it after that, you can cancel.
You're up there with like some like real famous people.
Who?
I mean, you're
on Hallow?
Hallow?
What do you? I don't know.
Yeah, like the guy that plays Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Roomy's on there.
Roomy.
What's his face? The Boston guy?
Roomy balls.
Marky
Wahlberg balls.
Mark.
Wall
Mark.
balls.
You've
That's what I
got to
call
stop
it.
using balls.
It's my new thing now. I
I
say this all the time. I'm like, Ennie balls, Peter balls.
I love it.
I said it to my son the other day. I'm
don't
like,
tell him that.
What's up, Petey balls? And my son said, please never say that in public again. So it's my thing now. It's stupid, but I'm going with it.
Yeah, no, go.
Can I
Sticking up your butt.
Can I tell you something really
Yes,
funny?
please do.
Your son butt dialed me a day or two ago.
Oh my gosh.
And I heard in the background you call someone something balls. And
Did you really?
And I heard Liam say, never say that again.
That's so funny. Yeah,
It's- you're a witness to it.
I was
And
waiting for
really
the perfect
embracing
time
it.
to bring it up. That like
This was
that
ideal.
he butt dialed me. Yeah.
Gina called me the other day, butt dialed me, and it occurred to me that I liked hearing from her butt.
But here's what's funny. Nobody's butt dialing anymore. I think we butt dialed when there were actually buttons for butts to press.
I don't know. Something
A
happens.
butt
Maybe
dial
Siri.
just means you tried to call them. Crap, I
Maybe
meant to get
Siri. Yeah.
I meant to get
no.
No.
Emmy, not Ennie.
Ennis. I was
Ennis.
looking for Ennis.
It was definitely in a pocket. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So he may have hip dialed you.
No.
Butt dialed. We'll go with butt dialed.
No, it's good. But back to Hallow. Like there you are, man. It's just making me so happy.
I started promoting Hallow before they were cool.
Well, no,
that's
I
the only
remember-
reason I'm on it.
No. I remember them showing videos at the conferences and just being like, "This will never work."
Yeah.
And and
No,
then they
I
got.
gotta say,
then they
like-
got you and.
Like, I think the ideal
Schmitz
would be to
and-
take your phone and put a bullet through it and never use Hallow. I think
Right.
that's the goal.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have a phone,
Yeah.
this is an excellent app to
Yeah,
have.
it's hard. It's hard to deny that would
Yeah.
be edifying, right? Like that's
Even like
it
sleep
truly is.
stories for your kids, you know, at night or. I mean, you see folks now in adoration with earbuds in. Still don't know how I feel about that, but now I don't judge them as harshly because I figure they're listening to Hallow.
Yeah, it is strange, right? Like we do this and we're like, yeah, just get rid of it. Like no, there's nothing good about it, and then we're like, but also,
Hallow.com is paying me.
yeah.
So
Well, yeah, at conferences, it's like the schedule, the examination of conscience, everything's on the app. And I get why you would want people to download it, but
let me tell you
there's something strange.
Speaking
yeah,
of peace, this
yeah.
is what I'm about to do today. And I did it last week and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
I get my phone and my computer and I leave it at the office and I go home.
Yeah. You leave it.
I leave it. I feel so good.
Wow. Do you have another?
Yeah, I have a
little
dumb phone
okay,
that I
that's
take
what I was
with me.
gonna say.
But the
you
dumb
probably have
phone, like Thursday, my wife,
Yeah.
my assistant has it. Like just a few people have it.
Wow.
And I just go home and just sit and play Scrabble with my
And
bride.
you're not doing any social media, but
No.
others do that for you?
Yeah, I have. I quit Twitter a while. That was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah. I did too.
It's just a cesspool.
It is bad. It's bad. And
Yeah, I don't do social media. I mean, I have the accounts, but it's not.
yeah. Yeah, it's hard, man. I mean, my 2-year-old wants to see monster trucks, you know, and there's no
That's a cool thing to see.
no quicker way to just let's search monster trucks on Instagram.
But what I
and
found
scroll
though,
through it.
if I wanted a peaceful weekend and I could leave the laptop or the phone, I'd leave the phone.
Yeah.
There's something about people trying to contact you, and you may want them to contact you. You may want to speak to them, but it's that constant on alert. Has someone?
Yeah, I'm actually
refresh. Email. Oh, I get an email.
Oh,
that stuff is exhausting.
Email. That's the downfall for me. I'm always looking for that next big email, you know, the opportunity, or somebody reaches out, or, you know, a donation or something like that. It's like what do you call that?
Yeah, slot machine.
Slot machine. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like a refresh, and it could
It's
be from like
addictive for similar
wayfair.com,
reasons.
or it could be a big donation or an opportunity. But yeah, no, this couple who came with us on the last pilgrimage, that was one of their things. They just left it and they disconnected, and they didn't, you know, they don't have children yet, but yeah, that's cool. I've been thinking about doing the dumb phone thing.
I got to show you the Wise phone. I got it out here. That's my dumb phone, the Wise phone.
Okay. Are
You ever
you
heard of
selling that?
No.
Are you okay? Are
I'm
they
selling it. They're not paying me.
They're not paying you?
Nothing.
They should.
But I really like it because it has zero internet, but it has maps. Maps are fantastic. You can send photos.
Yeah, I think I need that. I think I need
I'll show it to
maps.
you.
I think
And
I
they
need
have
maps
a music app they just added, and you plug a cord from your computer to your phone, and you drag MP3s on if you want to listen to stuff.
Oh, wow.
But it's not just an endless hole of entertainment to kill your soul with.
Yeah, it's hard.
So even with my iPhone, I had my wife block the App Store with a password. So even my iPhone is really limited.
Right. Yeah, I'm heading to talk to Justin and Hope Schneer. You know, they're a part of that scholarship at Fransciscan University. It's like everybody.
So my understanding is basically if these folks give up their smartphone for a certain amount of time, they get a big chunk of money towards their schooling.
Yeah, which is
what
so
a cool
innovative.
thing.
Oh my gosh.
Fransciscan.
Yeah, thank God for Franciscan.
Why do you love Fransciscan?
Things like that, and Father Dave Povanka.
He is the man.
Yeah, he really is. You know, I've traveled, you know,
He's
Africa,
so
and
normal,
he's so normal. He's
and
so
yet
real.
so holy.
Yeah.
Like he really loves Jesus.
Yeah,
But you never get the sense that he's trying to make you know that he loves Jesus. He's just himself.
No, that's the thing. I can hear him. I just saw him 2 days ago, and you know, I got 30 minutes of his time. Like totally blessed that he was in town, and I knew that he was going to say, "What's up?"
Yeah.
Like there's not another like. You know, there's always pretense, always like, you know, gosh, great to see you, or like, or this and that. Father Dave is so normal. What's up, man?
Yeah.
How you doing? It's a great.
I haven't encountered
characteristic of it.
anybody,
Yeah.
be it staff or student, who doesn't immediately say kind things about him. And obviously, that's not the litmus test for whether he's a great guy or not. They could like him and he could be awful, but he's brave, and I just think sets the tone for the university. Like when I think of Fransciscan, I think of people who are Orthodox, right? They love Jesus Christ, they love the church, and they want to go and proclaim the gospel. It's such a great
brave.
school.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that term, brave. He is brave. There's no. I mean, we were talking about it.
Did you see his chat with Jordan Peterson?
Yeah.
It was excellent.
Excellent. Yeah. And did he get on with Prager too?
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet,
Yeah.
but he had a chat with Prager last night.
Yeah.
Can we, real quick, we let people know that the Prager video is doing way better than it looks like it is?
Yeah, do you mind if I do that, Danny?
No.
So I interviewed Dennis Prager last night. We debated pornography, and for about 47 minutes. I thought it was going to be like a 5-minute thing, then we got into it. But what's funny about YouTube is, so on the outside, how many is it saying we got?
Hold on, I can check.
It is interesting. I don't know what this is about.
Our back end currently is 29.7 thousand.
29.7 thousand views.
So we're closing, and
in
this is the
4
one that was
hours.
posted this morning. So in 4 hours, we are closing in on 30,000 views.
But on the front end,
it only says 16,000, which is still nuts for us in 4 hours.
Yeah, but why is that, do you think?
So it's I don't want to like come across like play the victim card. So it could
But
be
here we go.
No, so
But
there's
I'll do it anyway.
There's two things it could be. It could be that the we put pornography in the title because we don't want it. We didn't want to hide it from the algorithm because it does get the descriptions at some points are explicit and not for kids.
Right.
And so we don't want it popping up in places it shouldn't be. So it could be that is also having a back effect where the YouTube algorithm doesn't want it like pushed super big because it is talking about some explicit topics. The other one could be that because it is what it is, that YouTube is purposefully throttling it. Or it could just be that the amount of views we're getting this quickly, I guess there's three things. Or it could be the amount of views we're getting this quickly are frankly just out of this world for our channel's normal thing. And so YouTube is verifying the views more strictly to make sure it's not being botted at all.
What's the average minute watch? Like, are they watching?
The time watched on this video is
14
insane.
minutes.
Yeah.
Which sounds like not much.
14 minutes, but that's 10 minutes more than usual.
So we're just going to geek out about statistics now. I don't know if you expected to do that. But I want to see.
What are you going to do with all that money?
It's ridiculous. The money is just ridiculous. I'm going to use it to try to bring down the porn industry.
There you go.
But like let's see. I want to see watch time collectively, and then we'll
watch time collectively is 6.9 thousand hours
of that one video.
That's insane.
Do you know how many wasted words that is?
What's your next biggest in 4 hours?
Probably when I had George Farmer, Candace Owens' husband, on talking about how he married her.
Oh, I thought he was saying, "What's our next big interview?"
Oh yeah. No. Exactly what before this? What was the previous record? One. Yeah.
What's his face?
Wow.
George
Way
Bulls.
to go.
No.
And here I am.
Ennie Bulls. But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm not part of the political scene, obviously, and I'm new to America, so I became familiar with him and enjoyed a lot of the things that he said. But did you know who he was, Dennis?
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I think it was like Bush era, he kind of hit the scene as a sensible person.
Yeah. Okay.
A sensible conservative. He wasn't going crazy. That's all I know, and then like a faithful Jewish guy. Hey, Dennis.
It was funny. He was talking because I am fascinated with Jews and the Sabbath, and you live in a Jewish area.
Yeah, no, I am too. I grew up with Jewish people. Yeah. Oh no, it's wild.
He was saying.
This is what I want to adopt. Like, what is the all male dance? So have you seen the Hasidic? Like, no. I mean,
I want to, but I don't.
I don't. It's not. Don't hear me wrong. Like, I don't want to exclude the ladies, but an all dude like jig would be really fun. You gotta go look at it. You know what I'm talking about?
It's like a bachelor party, I guess.
Yeah, like it's just this giant. They like fill stadiums, and it's just like. Are you serious? Yes.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna Google Hasidic.
Do it.
All male dance.
Yes.
All male.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, it's right there. Of course they all just. There's the uniform and everybody's, so it's not reformed, it's not reformed Jews, but our neighborhood is full of folks who are just super faithful, walking
just the
everywhere.
Idea that you can't get into a car.
Is it a wedding thing?
And so,
maybe, yeah.
Okay, it's called the mitzvah tanz, and they all dance in front of the bride. I don't know why they do it.
They all
she
do.
loves it.
Yeah.
She's like, I never asked for this, but let's let them have their time.
It's the Hasidic. Okay, words.
Words are coming out.
I can't say this word. Hasidic custom of the men dancing before the bride on the wedding night and after the wedding feast. Commonly, the bride, who usually stands perfectly still at one end of the room, will hold one end of a long sash while the one dancing before her holds the other end.
Yeah.
And there are times when the leading rabbis, usually her father or grandfather, will dance with her as well.
But I mean, it's really good. It's a really good, it's all synchronized. You got to go look at this. Yeah. So I would like that somewhere in our tradition.
Implement it.
And
then just add of St. Joseph onto the end of it, and people will just assume that it's like a medieval custom.
If you were to have a uniform that Catholic, it was like, this is what you have to wear forever. Like, this is what would it be?
It's a good question. I mean, I was going to say something like a black cassock, but that's reserved for the priests.
Yeah.
So,
the laity uniform. Okay, you guys are going to be identified.
I feel like you thought about this.
I don't know actually. Now, I think in my earlier days when I was cooler, I probably would have said like a V-neck. You would have been, yeah.
I would have been way into the V-neck.
Yeah, black
Ben
V-neck.
Wolfer started the V-neck trend.
Yeah, black V-neck or a white V-neck.
Yeah.
Jeans,
What about a white
sandals.
cassock? White cassock and
Yeah.
sandals. I don't care if it's wrong to like Birkenstocks. You're Gen Z. You probably hate Birkenstocks.
What? I'm wearing Chacos.
That's
but those are different.
That's different. Yeah.
Those are cool.
But Birkenstock, yeah, I mean,
You're walking through creeks and pulling out canoes. I'm Birkenstock. I'm playing an acoustic guitar to John Michael Talbot.
I honestly
John
just
Mayer.
don't want to tie my shoes, and it's warm enough outside that I never have to worry
No, I
about
love.
it
Do you
now.
wear Birks?
No.
I never knew that hating Birks was a thing. Whenever people hate things,
I'm out.
At some point,
I'm out.
It tilts, and it's now okay to. It's like Nickelback. You can only hate a band
Why?
until you're
Why
like,
do you Like,
screw
why do you
you.
do that? No,
Now I like 'em.
Look, man. I'll tell you the truth. I'm wearing Costco pants right now. Costco. I bought them at Costco. Like I don't. And then this indigenous made shirt.
but they
Welcome to
look
Costco.
cool.
I
They're
love you.
fine, but I mean, like I don't. Yeah, they're. I think last year.
What?
What's that?
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
What does that mean?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, something
It's
different.
idiocracy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just my wife brought them home and she was like, "Hey, I got these," and I'm like, "Great." I think last year or maybe it was post COVID. It just it just broke in my mind. Like the idea of stressing about what people might think about my clothing is just so weird. I'm 44 years old. I shouldn't be concerned about
Well,
what
isn't this
people
what
think about my
Seinfeld says, that at some point your father just picks out a suit or a set of clothes like this is what we're gonna do from now on, and that's how you can tell what your father's favorite year was. Because he just locks into that and just dresses like that forever.
Yeah, it's true. That's how I feel that, man. I don't. Yeah, but oftentimes if I do take a stage in front of youth, I go ahead and admit that, right? Like right out front. Like I was stressing about what jeans to wear, which is just so silly, coming from a man my age, but we kind of do, right? Like there's this weird, I gotta fit a part, or people are gonna say something about my Birkenstocks or, whatever. I remember Birkenstocks are laughed at. Oh, what are they? Crocs. Crocs were like it wasn't Gen
Crocs
Z,
are
it was
pretty
millennials.
gross. I can't.
Millennials
shoes.
really made fun of Crocs.
Yeah.
And then now
they become cool
Oh
again?
yeah, like everybody. So
So this is actually
We looked
hilarious
at him
that you
because
just brought up.
he's
Crocs.
the
we keep
resident
looking at-
No,
Gen
it's
Z
really
guy.
funny that you brought Crocs up. So the movie I just
not that
quoted,
funny.
Idiocracy. Everybody in that movie wears Crocs because the premise is that everybody in the future is stupid, and the guy from the current year who's average goes to the future and turns out to be the smartest person alive. But
Is it a good movie?
It's hilarious. You should watch it.
This is a
Absolutely.
good movie though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
That's what I said.
But the guy who wrote it, whose name escapes me currently, saw Crocs when he was writing the movie, like in their early stages, and we're like, those are so stupid.
Yeah.
Like nobody's gonna wear them. But then the movie got delayed so much that by the time the movie came out, Crocs
They
were
were cool
super
again.
popular.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow. That's
Squish, squish.
impressive.
Yeah,
It's impressive that you know that. That's a really cool little factoid.
fantastic.
All right, let's wrap up.
Yeah, I gotta pee too. So, great chatting, bro.
Yes, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I love you.
The best bit about these chats is at the end where you're just done. So we're done now. So now
We're
let's
done
keep
now.
going.
Now let's actually
just
talk.
stop caring and actually just
Costco pants.
Costco pants.
But I'm just gonna click the button now.
Sure. Okay. Bye.